Welcome to the realm of Millenia. Be ye a native migrator or maybe even invader into the realm. Welcome. This week's Devil's Advocate hot take for week 27 is about objective truth, right? Now, I've seen this in a lot of the ongoing podcast debates. Is it facing me? Oh, take off this hood. Nah, not much better. I've seen a lot of the... I'll just restart for the sake of the short. Welcome for the Millenia. Week 27 Devil's Advocate hot take is going to be about objective truth, right? And in there, it's... Because I've seen it going around with the podcast circles and folks like the Whatever podcast and Andrew Wilson. He's a good debater. Gotta give him that. His just dues on that. But something I've seen him do is shut down the feminine perspective, talking about objective truth, with what I believe to be him arguing like the difference between objectively true. Those are two different things, right? And with this hot take, I'm clarifying that, hey, Devil's Advocate hot take, objective truth has absolutely nothing to do with true and false, right? Anyone saying otherwise is just trying to propagandize you or ignorant to what is actually being talked about, right? Objective truth has nothing to do with true and false, unfortunately for you, as far as debating and argumentation goes, right? True and false is stuck on the side of justice, right? Justice is there to determine the true and false in regards to agreed social norms and other criminal aspects, right? Justice, right? Objective truth is all about the patterns of goals, intentions, and there was one more. But again, I'm not looking at my paper right now. But right, objective truth, right, consistency, that's what it was. Objective truth is about consistency. Yes, that's it. Objective truth is about consistency, goals, and intentions. It has nothing to do with the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, or the truth of the matter, right? Anything objectively true does go across those lines, but objective truth with a TH is something pertaining to consistency, intention, and goals, right? And that is being conflated overly too much nowadays in the podcast industry, I guess. Yeah. Now that we have the YouTube short, let's get back to that intro. Well, welcome to the realm of Millenia. Be ye a man, a woman, a child, a spirit, creature, or maybe even a demon. Be ye a native migrator, or maybe even an invader into the realm. Welcome to the realm of Millenia, for I am your host, the MILLENIANmailmen, here today to deliver you guys, gals, and non-binary identifiers, the news from the realm of Millenia, from your favorite or least favorite Devil's Advocate, right? And this week's opinionated hot take from said Devil's Advocate is that objective truth has nothing to do with true and false. Week 27 Devil's Advocate hot take. Objective truth has nothing to do with true and false. Anyone trying to say otherwise is just trying to sway you with their personal propagandized endeavors, right? They're trying to sway and convince and do one or more forms of manipulations on you. So you better watch out, right? Objective truth, 5-letter TH. Objective truth has nothing to do with true and false. Objectively true does, right? True and false and a conversation about objective truth is reserved specifically for justice in regards to in specific regards to like crimes and certain standards socially agreed on in a topic, right? But anything past that, no, right? Objective truth is a conversation you have in order to establish a basis of the conversation, right? Because objective truth is about consistency. Nothing really more than that, right? When you're trying to compile an objectively true argument, when the person bringing up objective truth is trying to lay down a pattern or a narrative of consistency that they're recognizing that they're going to be talking and discussing about, right? And people like Andrew Wilson, specifically, as I've seen him on the Whatever podcast and other debating conversations, like with the Angry Man podcast and other, I forget that dude's name, but on other live channels, I see him and many others shutting down people talking about objective truths, where the feminine perspective is trying to build up their narrative with objectively true statements, right? Objectively true, just the 4-letter with no TH on it, right? Objectively true things are not really something you can really combat when you're in the middle of trying to develop your objective truth pattern recognition here. So they end up steamrolling the other side without properly allowing the discussion to develop. It's like, okay, you were saying this and that, but is it objectively true that this, and this? Well, this, and this has nothing to do with the thing of pattern recognition I'm trying to mention, but you're backing me into a corner, so I can't help but say yes, unfortunately, right? Objective truth has nothing to do with things that are objectively true. There are two different arguments that can complement one another, but must come separate in series to one another, one after the other, not one run parallel to each other. Otherwise, like certain math equations, it's not going to work out in the end, even if that's the only way to solve the problem, right? That's how calculus works. God, I love it. Even you could have the single way to do rocket science. There's only this one way, but so long as you do your PEMDAS improperly, you will get the wrong answer every time. And that's what's happening when I see Andrew Wilson debating a lot of these people, or even feminine opposites. He's shutting them down, and a lot of them aren't ready or able to hear what he has to say, not because he is wrong or that they can't acknowledge that he's wrong. It's that I came to debate and discuss with you, and you're shutting me down, so I can't even allow myself to receive what you're saying because you refuse to acknowledge what I was saying or allow me to finish, right? And that's the most unfortunate take, because I've seen a lot of his debates, and there were plenty of people who I would say were able to and willing to receive up until he shut them down with their objective truth arguments, with his objectively true statements, prior to them finishing their objective truth establishments, right? Because objective truth is all about consistency, right? And for an example of that, I would say the whole Amber Heard case with Johnny Depp, right? It's a pretty big thing in the legal sector of legal counsel as well, where lawyers very much, especially for guilty clients, combat and reduce sentences based on objective truth. Lawyers make it a common practice to establish an objective truth in order to fix or limit the punishment on their clients, right? Let's just, because here's three things here. right? Remember, objective truth is all about consistency, and objective falsehoods is all about inconsistencies, right? So let's say a guy walks in a room and two people in there, one of them died because a nail gun shot him in the heart. He's dead now, right? Rather morbid example, but I'm going somewhere, right? So in this precursor example of this person getting harmed by a nail gun, objective truth number one, you walked in there with the full intention of harming and hurting or killing this man. Did you or did you not? Well, that's not true at all, good sir, right? But was it true that the nail gun that came from your hand hurt him? Okay, that is objectively true. But it was not my intention. That is not what you went in there to kill and murder him. No. Right? That's path one. Path two that you could say is, hey, I walked in there, I was mad, but I didn't go in there to murder him, right? You're establishing a basis of intention. Or you could go another route and say, no, he complimented me and like, hey, I was excited to walk in there. I forgot to put my nail gun down. I was happy because I thought I was about to get a promotion, right? And I walked in there. I didn't like what I was hearing, and I forgot the nail gun was in my hand, and I did it on accident. So did I do it? Yes. Did I mean to do it? By no means at all. Right? So the three perspectives we got, yes, I went in there with every intention of hurting this man. No, I did not go in there with any intentions of hurting him. It was an accident. And no, I didn't do it, but the thing in my hand when I went in there did do it. Right? I went in there with every intention to, but someone else did it. It wasn't me. Right? The intentions are there. The intention that you did, the intention that you didn't. The story just needs to be consistent for it to be objective truth, right? It's the objective truth that my intentions, that my purpose, being consistent, was to do harm. It is my objective truth that my intentions, that my purpose was not at all to do harm. I was there to receive benefits that were not there. He just happened to be hurt. None of my objectives, none of my intentions, none of my consistent speech would ever collaborate anything you're saying. And many people can collaborate what I was saying is the truth, right? Many people can corroborate along with my tale, not just my tale, but others' tales, corroborates the objective truth that I had no intention of harming this guy. I did not go in there hurting him. Other people heard and can vouch that I was expecting to get promoted, okay? I walked in there excited. I forgot to put down my nail gun. He just happened to be hurt, and I was not at all, it should not at all be attributed to me trying to be heinous, right? That is a far cry from the objective truth, because it was not part of my objective to hurt nobody, right? No, cross the street. Don't run me over. All right. Objective truth is about the intention and the goals, right? So if during one of the narratives, specifically as it regards to court, if we just eliminate the one like, no, I didn't do it at all, I didn't hurt him, it's whatever, right? If you're innocent, the rest of this conversation has nothing to do with you. But if you are guilty, like, yes, the nail gun I had hurt the guy, regardless of whether or not you did it in purpose, with intention, you have to still have an objectively true, not objectively, an objective truth narrative by being consistent in order to evade and get away scot-free as much as possible, right? So you didn't go in there to hurt him, right? Yes, that is correct. And this is the very thing that lawyers go in there to help you with. The only difference between most lawyers is, hey, and a regular person just trying to represent themselves is their understanding of legal jargon, right? But anytime you're trying to represent a suspected criminal and be a defense, your number one goal, once we realize that you very much did do the crime, right? Yep, he did the crime, he did the crime, he did the crime. The only way to reduce that sentence is to establish an objective truth on how to get that sentence reduced for you, right? Now, I digress, so I'll bring it back with the Amber Heard example. The biggest problem with Amber Heard and then like the whole feminist movement behind her wasn't that she lied, right? The biggest problem was that her objective truth was proven to be an objective falsehood, right? Because all the women and a couple of the men I was well in support of Amber Heard during that whole trial were backing the fact that all women must believe all women this, all women that, believe all women, right? And the biggest damage Amber Heard's case did was her being found as objectively falsehood speaker, right? And you can say that just means she's a liar, but that's not the big problem, right? The big problem was her being seen as not objective truth, because she could have told an objective truth and just said Johnny Depp's a terrible person and that left it at that. She could have seen that trial go an entirely different way, but no, her objective truth that she wove with her I'm not sure what part of the deposition it was, be it the front or the back, but her basis was that Johnny Depp is terrible and I'm an innocent little butterfly that would never do any, has never done anything, and I am just perfect, right? How poor and fortunate you are. Because the moment she said that, Johnny Depp is terrible and I am good, I am clean, I am awesome. The moment she told that, all Johnny Depp and his team had to do was prove that her half of that was terrible. So what did they do? They proved, hey, yep. They openly proved, like, yeah, she wasn't a good person. Now, any and everything she says can be seen as a bit more objectively false. A bit more objective falsehood. And it helped to be able to prove her wrong that Johnny was a monster. He didn't even have to prove that he himself wasn't a monster. It just really did not help her case at all. Because all he had to do was prove that she's not innocent in order to be able to reduce the sentence. But proving that he isn't really much of a monster, especially on the occasions that she was saying that he was, I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help you there, right? But that is why Amber Heard's trial with Johnny Depp is a cautionary tale. Not because she wasn't able to win that court case, but because her stance on everything really didn't make it easy on her and her team, and her stance of trying to convey herself as sweet and innocent basically ruined it. Because I promise you, even in a regular courtroom, had she not tried to label herself as cutesy and innocent, she probably could have still won the court case. I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm going to be honest with you. Amber Heard should have 1,000% won that court case, recorded and streamed live or not. But the fact that she wanted to double down on the fact that she herself was innocent just really ruined it for her in that trial. And that is why it brought back the Me Too movement and the whole feminism, womanism party back, like, I think someone said 1,000,000 years. Brought all the women back to the 1800s. It was like, oh, I don't think she brought you guys that far back, but sure, go ahead. Right? She did the feminist movement no favors, even though she was the forefront face of it for a good while there. And it's most unfortunate because she really could have won that court case. But hey, I don't know what to tell you. Objective truth is all about consistency. And the moment people put holes in that consistency is the moment that objective truth is lost. Objective truth can turn to objective falsehood pretty darn fast once you put holes in the objectively and into the objective truth narrative, right? And it's best policy to put holes in it with objectively true statements or objectively false statements, right? Because again, objective truth is interchangeable with consistency just as much as objective falsehoods are interchangeable with inconsistency. Objective truth is all about consistency with intention and the goals, right? So if my goal is to prove my innocence in the harming of another individual with my nail gun, I need to make a consistent story that collaborates that. I am innocent. I am innocent. But so that is what lawyers do. If you get put on trial for second degree, third degree, first degree murder with a deadly weapon, #nail gun, you better be mindful that, hey, I don't know what's going on, but hey man, I'm innocent, right? So the lawyer is going to do everything in their power with all the information you allow them to have and all the information they do know and all the jargon and the legalities that they know about in order to help you get off scot-free as much as possible. Which is why it's good to tell them as much as possible. Because every lawyer is trained on those objective truths to help you, their client, figure out and come to the best thing, be it a settlement, be it innocent or guilty plea, whatever it is, right? Their whole purpose is to weave a consistent narrative to get you as close to what you want as possible. That is objective truth, right? Almost used it wrong again. Objective truth is about consistency. Nothing else, nothing else. And when we forget that, that is where the whole argument is ruined. Oh man. I'm surprised at how much I was doing today. I really shouldn't have come for the walk. Oh man. Like, my legs aren't even hurt, but I'm tired. I did a lot of good work today. What time? Dang, 10:30. Oh man. I really shouldn't have worked so hard. I'm actually kind of tired. Good day. That's just me, your Millenia mailman. I know I fumbled the whole argument and discussion. I do apologize. I am kind of tired. Probably should have put off doing this video until tomorrow. But by golly, I gotta do 2 videos a day. I promised myself I'll do 2 videos a day. New Year's resolution. Can't let it die in February, dude. 2 videos a day. I'm trying. But yeah, man. How are you guys doing? Alright. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailmen. Hope you did like the video. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down in the comment section down below any questions, comments, concerns. Share the video for more exposure. Subscribe if you feel like it. Dislike the video if you don't. Peace, love, happiness, all those good things. But yeah, how are you guys doing? Dude, I'm so tired. Bye.